Welcome to the Trader's Journey podcast, the podcast that will take us on a journey to grow from a struggling trader to an independent and profitable one. I'm your host, Amber.
And I'm Peter.
We are individual traders trying to make it in the markets and want to share our experience and the lessons learned along the way. Our goal is for you to learn from our mistakes and profit along the way.
Grab your notebooks and sharpen your pencils because we are going on a journey.
What's going on, traders? This is episode number 2 of the Trader's Journey podcast. In this episode, we're going to discuss what we think about the idea of letting winners run and cutting losses quickly. What's going on, Peter? How was your week?
What's going on, man? It's been a good week. It's been my first green week in quite a while, so I'm pretty happy about that. What about you?
I would say I'm pretty green and flat at the same time, I guess. It's been a good week. I'm slightly up. But overall, I'm really happy with my trading. I stuck to the plan, took a small share size, so I'm really happy with my performance this week.
Can't go wrong about that.
So I wanted to talk about the idea of letting winners run and cutting losses quickly. To me, these concepts are very vague and mean different things to different traders and traders at different levels. When beginners hear this concept, they hear it from so many people and they tend to believe it because they don't know otherwise, and an entire group of people can't be wrong. So I wanted to know, when you first heard these concepts, what did you think they meant when you first started trading?
Well, for cutting losses quickly, when I first heard about that, my first impression was, once it hits my stop loss, I need to get out. And that is definitely not the case. Another thing is that if I ever saw like a big red candle, I always would get out because, seeing a big red candle or a big green candle, if you're short, that's a scary sight. Over my experience of the past 6 months, that view has changed quite a bit. With letting winners ride, my first impression was I honestly didn't even have a price target when I first started trading. I just traded to trade, and if I was green, I would just let it run, and I thought it could go to the moon. And obviously that one has changed a lot too. What about you? What was your first impressions on those?
Very similar to yours. So letting winners run, I just thought if I'm in a trade and it's green, just try to get more out of it. And at the end of it, it would always come, it'll give me a little bit more, but of course I would never take the profit because, again, I try to get more out of it only for it to come back down, hit my stop loss, and I would have a losing trade, which goes into cutting losses quickly. And to me, that meant that I should close a trade as soon as I feel it's gone too far against me or I've lost more money than I wanted to lose, period. But to me, those definitions are no longer valid. Letting winners run means that you let the position go in your favor after you've put money in your pocket, whether that means taking a partial, or if you're in a significant profit, you maybe add to the position to let it run further, but you somehow need to put the money in your pocket first because it's not a winner until you've actually profited from it. Or you're in a very significant unrealized profit where you're able to let it go even more, and if it does pull back, you're still able to put money in your pocket. Regarding cutting losses quickly, to me means I should give the stop a little leeway because so many times I've been stopped out only for the price to eventually go into my direction and never reach my stop loss again. So to me, it means I need to either take a small position size in the beginning. So if it does reach my stop loss, I can maybe hold through it a little bit more, let all the other sale orders clear up before it starts moving in my direction. That way, since I've taken small size, I could hold on to the loss a little bit longer than I normally would with full size. And if the trade does eventually start going into my direction, I can maybe add those additional shares back in and then take a profit when it hits my target. So definitely my view has changed.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think it's really important that you should allow the price action to close below your stop loss because like you said, it's happened far, far too many times where it would drop below your stop loss and then shoot right back up, because you know that the market makers love to play their games and stop people out. And as far as letting winners ride, yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, you have to pay yourself on the trade. I mean, there's no point in taking a trade if you're not paying yourself along the way.
That makes sense. I think, when you're as a beginner, kind of just going back to the beginning a little bit, I think as a beginner, you're just looking for any little hint of a direction to become profitable. And, when you hear, oh, just let your winners run, cut losses quickly, that is probably the worst bandwagon you can jump on. Because really, to be honest, the people that I've heard this from are also in the same boat as I am. They might be slightly profitable, but not by much, or they may not be profitable at all, and I think they just might be fooling themselves to think they just need to let their winners run and cut losses quickly to be profitable. There's so much more to it than just these two concepts.
Yep. The best saying that I've ever heard is make a dollar, keep a dollar. That is by far the best statement that I've ever heard, because if you can make $1 and keep that dollar, you can make $100 and keep that $100. It's all scalable.
I think as you develop as a trader, these two concepts need to define themselves for you, because my definition will not be the same as your definition, because everyone has their own unique style of trading. So you just need to figure that out for yourself. You need to figure out what your particular risk tolerance is, what your personality is like, what type of trader you are, and that's all going to mold what these particular definitions are for you. I just talked about my definition, but it could change over time, and I assume it's going to change for you too as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Small size is key, because having small size on in a trade can allow you to take larger risk, and when you take on that larger risk, you have time on your side for the trade to actually work out in your favor, and it'll cut out all the noise.
Oh, absolutely. And to me, that time will allow you to clearly define what letting winners run and cutting losses quickly means for you.
Thank you for listening to episode 2 of the Trader's Journey podcast. Please leave us a comment and let us know what your thoughts of letting winners run and cutting losses quickly were. If you're watching this podcast on YouTube, please leave a like and hit the subscribe button. If you're listening to this on a podcast platform, make sure to leave a rating. We'll catch you on the next episode of the Trader's Journey podcast.